wrote and edited a book called Organizational Learning and Competitive Advantage, and it's been about 20 years now, but it's really still very much a classic. And so we really wanted to kind of revisit some of the concepts in the book. And I'd like to start by asking you why you wrote that book.
Yeah, and as you said, time is flying. It's a long time ago, but I think the main reason why we made the decision to write this book is because it was fun. It was fun, and it was an exciting project. At that time, I had the great honor to be invited as a visiting professor at the Harvard Business School and to work closely with Chris Ayres. And Chris Ayres was a leading scholar in the field of organizational behavior, and is very often referred as the father of organizational learning. So for me, it was an amazing year there and really a great learning opportunity. And I have to say that I really appreciated working with Chris Ayres because he is one of the few scholars who really, let's say, walk the talk. He has been advocating learning for many, many years, but he was essentially learning oriented himself. And I have to say that it's not so common. I have had the opportunity to work with many colleagues, especially in the field of leadership, and sometimes there is a big gap between what people preach as scholars and the way they behave themselves. If you have a look to the way they treat their assistant, for instance, you would say, oh, there is quite a gap between what I can read in the books and the way they behave. In the case of Chris Ayres, it was the exact opposite. He was perfectly sincere, and his behavior was totally aligned with his theory of learning. So that was basically the context in which I studied this project. And Chris introduced me to Amy Edmondson, and Amy became a co-author and a good friend, and we have been working together for more than 20 years now. And Amy is now of course, on the faculty of Harvard. She has a chair there. At that time, she was just completing a Ph.D. And when the book was published, she just joined the faculty of Harvard. And we have had very interesting conversation with Chris and with Amy, of course, about organizational learning. But my background was in strategy. And we had very interesting discussion about how could we bridge those two fields, the field of organization behavior on one hand, and the field of strategy on the other hand. And at that time, there was something new in the field of strategy, was the notion of resource-based, which is basically the idea that companies can gain a competitive advantage through leveraging their internal resources. And we said here there is something on which we could work, and that's how we studied this project. And it was really fun, and we had the impression to be explorers, exploring a new field, exploring something new. So with a lot of intellectual excitement there.